Page 22, An Impossible Interview. I could not believe it. Half an hour later, Pinky Pig was done. "Here you are," she said. "The cheese is called Mega Cheese. It comes from the village of Little Cheeseville. They only make 7 whole cheeses a year," she said. "That is because it takes 3,000 gallons of milk to make 1 pound of cheese. It's very nutritious and very expensive." "How did you do it?" I asked. I was impressed. She shrugged. "No sweat," she said. "Anyone could do it." "But I searched for days and I couldn't find it," I said. "I'm sure you would have found it someday," Pinky said. Her eyes twinkled. "Maybe I could use your help after all," I muttered. "Just for small jobs, of course." "Give me another problem," Pinky shouted. "I'm ready to go." I covered my eyes. "Calm down," I cried. "Your voice is louder than your outfit." I looked through my notes. "Here is something," I said. "Fuzzy Fuzzborn is in town, the rock singer. Every reporter in town wants to interview him. I'm not a big fan of Fuzzy Fuzzborns. As I said before, I don't like loud rock music, but he is one of the most popular mice on Mouse Island. An interview with Fuzzy would be great for the Rodents Gazette." There was only one problem. Fuzzy never gives interviews, I told Pinky. "He is a pretty cranky rat. Not even you could handle this one. No one can. I will find something else." But Pinky Pink had already strapped on her inline skates. She pushed off my desk and zoomed toward the door. "One interview coming up," she cried. I tried to jump out of the way, but there was no time. That little mouse skated right over my tail. Tricks of the trade. Pinky skated in 2 hours later. "Your interview, boss," she said. "I even took pictures of him." I was shocked. "But Fuzzy Fuzzborn never gives interviews to anyone," I squeaked. "How did you do it?" Pinky sat down. She plopped her big platform sneakers on my desk. "Take your fishy footwear off my desk," I cried. All right," Pinky said, lowering her paws. "Don't get your fur frazzled, boss. Don't you want to read the interview?" To tell the truth, I wanted to read the interview very badly. An interview with Fuzzy. Here he is. He does look cranky. Fuzzy Fuzzborn. Pinky took a signed photo of Fuzzy out of her backpack. An interview with Fuzzy Fuzzborn. What a scoop! But I didn't want Pinky Pig to see how excited I was. She might get the wrong idea, like that I actually wanted her to be my assistant. Pinky winked at me. "Let me tell you all about it, Uncle Geronimo," she said. "Uncle? How dare you call me that?" I shrieked. "Okay," said Pinky. "How about Pops?" "You can't call me Pops either," I said. "Call me Mr. Stilton. I am your boss, after all." As soon as I had muttered the word boss, I realized my mistake, but it was too late. "Aha!" Pinky said. "If you are my boss, that means I am your new assistant, right?" "Fine," I said. The little mouse had finally worn me down. Just show me the interview, please. At that moment, my sister Thea ran into the office. Thea is a special correspondent for the Rodents Gazette. She knows everything that happens in New Mouse City. Thea ran up to Pinky and shook her paw. "Good job, kid," my sister said. "I heard about the interview with Fuzzy. How did you do it?" Pinky grinned. "Check this out," she said. She took a large photo of Fuzzy Fuzzborn out of her backpack. Fuzzy had signed it. "To Pinky Pig, the most adorable, fabulous mouse, smartest mouse on Mouse Island." "This is how I did it," Pinky said. "I wrote him a letter. It went like this. Dear Fuzzy, I am your biggest fan. I know all of your songs by heart. I have covered the walls in my room with your pictures. When I grow up, I want to be just like you." Then I added some details, Pinky went on. "I said I had a mean boss who made me work day and night for no pay. I told him how you forced me to interview him or you would fire me. I couldn't believe it. Such lies. I had not forced Pinky to do anything. She was the one who forced herself on me." "Well, I began, but the phone rang. Before I could finish, I picked it up. "Hello? Is this Stilton, Geronimo Stilton?" the caller asked. I recognized the voice right away. It was Fuzzy Fuzzborn. "Yes, I am Geronimo Stilton," I said. I was excited. "I am so pleased you did the interview for our paper, Mr. Fuzzborn." "I only did it to help out that sweet little mouse who works for you," Fuzzy snapped. "Shame on you! How dare you make her work day and night? What kind of a terrible boss are you? She's just a little mouselet." I started to tell him the truth, but Pinky slapped her paw over my mouth. "Oh, my assistant has great imagination," I managed to mumble. I am sure she was stretching the truth a bit, but Fuzzy did not believe me. "Shame on you, Stilton!" he squeaked. "Shame on you!" "How embarrassing!" "You stink worse than a hunk of rotten cheese, Stilton!" Fuzzy was shouting. "How embarrassing! Fuzzy Fuzzborn was one of the most famous rats on Mouse Island, and he thought I was a first-class creep. What if he started spreading Pinky's story around? My reputation would be ruined, and it was all Pinky's fault. That's it, I decided. I can't have this meddling mouse as my assistant. No." Before I could say anything, Pinky pressed the speaker button on my phone. Fuzzy's voice rang out through the office. "Another thing, Stilton," Fuzzy said. "That little assistant of yours is a genius. Her interview was brilliant. She really understands me and my music. I am thinking of letting her write my biography." All thoughts of firing Pinky left my brain. Fuzzy Fuzzborn's biography? That was even bigger scoop. Pinky grinned. She sat down and put her big shoes on my desk. I motioned her to move her paws. She didn't. Instead, she made a face at me. The Daily Rat. So I don't think Geronimo Stilton is going to fire her anymore. Do you? The Daily Rat. I started thinking about firing Pinky again. Biography or not, she was just too much. Fuzzy was talking. "You are lucky to have an assistant like Pinky Pig, Stilton," he said. "I am sure she could teach you a thing or two. You'd better keep her happy or you might lose her." "Of course, Fuzzy, of course," I said, but inside I was still fuming. Fuzzy finally hung up. Pinky jumped out of her seat. "I think it's time for a race, boss," she shouted. My furry face flushed red. "Race!" I shrieked. "But I just hired you!" Pinky winked at me. "Too bad. I guess I could always go work for the competition." I turned as pale as a piece of mozzarella. The Daily Rat was my biggest competition in New Mouse City. If Pinky worked there, they would get the Fuzzy Fuzzborn interview and the biography. I gulped. "Now, don't be hasty, Pinky," I said. "Aren't you happy here at the Rodents Gazette with your Uncle Jerry?" Pinky smiled. "Here's the deal," she said, slapping her paws on my desk. "I won a mega huge bonus each year. I love to travel, so I also need 3 months of paid vacation. And I want all my expenses paid, including my clothes. I need to keep up with the latest trends." She pointed to her baggy sweatshirt. "Well, that's all very expensive," I said. Pinky sat down and folded her arms behind her head. "I understand, boss. If you don't like the deal, I can always go somewhere else. I already have an idea for Fuzzburn's biography." Pinky's gaze moved to the top of my desk. A copy of the Daily Rat stared up at us. I would not let them scoop me with the Fuzzy Fuzzborn story. I could not let that happen. "Whatever you want, Pinky," I said. "Whatever you want." Oh, Pinky Pink got away with it. The assistant's assistant. So it was all settled. Pinky Pink was my new assistant. The Rodents Gazette was going to be the Fuzzy Fuzzborn interview and biography. I arrived at my office early the next morning, ready for a calm and peaceful day. But I had not even finished my cheese pastry when Pinky Pink burst through my door. "I have news, boss," she squeaked. "News about Fuzzy?" I asked hopefully. "No, there is more news," she said. "Come on, ask me what it is." "All right, Pinky," I said. "What is it?" Pinky moved to one side. "Ta-da!" she shouted. A small female mouse stepped out from behind Pinky. She looked like she was about 14 too. "Who are you?" I asked. "My name is Mary Melody," she said shyly. "Shouldn't you be in school?" I asked. Pinky laughed. "It's Christmas vacation. There is no school. By the way, this is Mary, my new assistant." "Assistant?" I shouted. "Who said you were allowed to have an assistant?" Pinky did not answer. Instead, she unhooked the big diary from her backpack. She opened it up to reveal a built-in calculator. She said, punching in numbers. "With Mary's help, I could write Fuzzy's biography faster. I could do it in 1 month instead of 2. A cheese-scented diary.